Now that goes against everything that you've been taught your whole life. Everything you've been taught your whole life. You've been taught that you think with your mind. But in the Quran, it talks about what the mind does. Think about some of the things the Quran says about the mind. Jesus said, let us forget the body. He said, let us forget the flesh and go with mind. And go with mind. So therefore, he is identifying that the mind is a vehicle that we could use to transcend boundaries, that we could use to transcend time and space. So when the Prophet Muhammad, he talked about going from Mecca to Jerusalem and back to Mecca in one night, the night's journey. How did he travel? He said he traveled on an animal called Barak, and this animal in one stride, he moves as far as his eyes could see at the speed of thought. At the speed of thought. He was traveling with the mind. You understand what I'm saying? What else did he say about the mind? He said, these tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind. So he's telling us that there is a workshop in the mind. And he's saying where we build up thought. He said where things are made of thought and where we build up character. Now he's telling us what we're supposed to be doing in the workshop, but that's not what you have to do because your mind is yours. You can change it when you want to.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Happy Holy Day to all the Moors all over the world, to all Muslims all over the world. First and foremost, I give praise to Allah, honor to His Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Temple of America. Honor to all the true and faithful members of this Moorish Temple of America. And give me 1 second. Let me do this real quick. I got something that I want to talk to. I want to talk to the Asiatics about. It's a conversation that needs to be had about a document. All right, we put the document up on the screen so we can see. So we can. This is the document right here that I want to talk to the Moors about. Islam. So every member of the Moorish Temple of America, upon joining the Moorish Temple of America, you are to receive certain literature that will help you to learn what the truth is about yourself. Very important. Right? You should receive the Holy Koran of the Moorish Temple of America. You should receive this, which we affectionately call the 101s. But it is the great meaning its own Quran questions for Moorish Americans. Right? Then you should receive the divine constitutional bylaws of the Moorish Temple of America and the Moorish literature pamphlet. This is important, right? Now, I want to speak today specifically about this document that's found on the back of the Holy Quran, Quran questionnaire. And today, see, I want to show the Moors. I want the Moors to understand a little bit about what you are given, and a little bit about the authority that is behind this stuff, right? So, even though I'm a business law student, for those who don't know, I actually only took the subject so that I could better understand, how the Moorish Temple of America was legally, structured, and how it came about legally. That's the only reason why I even took the subject. I had no intentions on being a lawyer. I had no intentions on, filing a whole paperwork or anything. I just really want to know, what type of structure, what type of legal structure, what type of, what did the Prophet actually put down? I was wondering, so I went to school to learn about this thing, right? When I really should have just spent that time studying my lessons. All praise due to Allah. It's no strange happenings. Everything that happens for a reason, man. It's sure to find simple way he solves his problems best. But we have Moors right now all over YouTube. And the craziest thing about this, right, is that sadly, these Moors are really, really digging. Like they commit a lot of real energy to studying and to really, trying to plumb the line and find what the Prophet Ali has placed in the hands of the Asiatics in America. They really work. They just not in the temple working. Okay. Now I want to ask you. I want y'all to understand. I want you to understand that to learn more science, you have to come into the Moorish Science Temple of America. You want to learn more science, you have to go to Sunday school to learn more science. You can't learn more science outside of the Moorish Science Temple of America, contrary to what y'all may think. I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all will be, oh man, no, I'm a Moorish American, I'm self-taught, this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to argue with you. I just want to direct our attention to the Prophet Noble Ali's own words. All right. Give me a second. Let me grab something. Let me get my more studies. Just pass it out real quick. I wanna make this. I want to make this plain. I don't want anybody out there to think that I'm making something up. So I want to direct our attention to Prophet these own words. Okay. So we're going to take a look at the Prophet's general laws. Islam. General laws as said by the Prophet, October 17, 1928. Every temple and head is to function by words, deeds, and actions imitating the Prophet, especially when teaching a group of Moors, any group of Moors. These are the general laws. The supreme laws will be handed you later. The heads of all temples are to submit or report monthly of all finance. The heads of all temples are to refrain from all wrathful words, profanity in the mildest form, from all the members of his or her temple. They must live the life of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and refrain from all alcoholic liquors or any other harmful possibility that will terminate to destroy peace, or any other of the divine principles. They are not to contribute to anything that will cause the public to disagree with him or her. And for one to lead a group of Moors, you must keep your house clean with good deeds, kind words. Your wives, brothers must hear good words, kind words, and must know of your good deeds. If there are children, you must see to their support. Follow the divine principle. Follow this divine principle. For if you don't restrict to this divine principle, then you are not a true Moor. And the heads are not to charge for membership or to overcharge for cards, buttons, or for anything issued by the Prophet. Those who contribute to either of the proceeding are not Moors, but robbers. Islam. And I'm going to skip a paragraph. And the Prophet Noble Ali says, and to be a real Moorish leader, you must study the Quran and the divine constitution that is handed down unto you by I, the Prophet. He says again, and to be a real
Moorish leader. You must study the Quran and the divine constitution that is handed down unto you by I, the prophet. These are the things that you must study to be a real Moorish leader. If you are not studying, if you are not studying in these, you cannot possibly be a real Moorish leader. It doesn't matter what else you study. It doesn't matter what else you know. It doesn't matter what other degrees you master. If you have not mastered these, then you are not a real Moorish leader. You can master Google searching. You can master commanding AI to go into anywhere and pull out any type of information. None of that makes you a real Moorish leader. So I want to state that first and foremost. These is the words of the prophet. And anybody aspiring to be a good or real Moorish leader must restrict to the Prophet Noble Ali's order and study his Holy Koran and divine constitution and bylaws. You can't say that you want to be a real Moorish leader or that you are a real Moorish leader and you don't know these. Prophet's words. You can't be out here charging for membership. The prophet say that if you do that, you are not a Moor. So the last thing that you is a Moorish leader, you're not even a Moor. Listen to what he said. He said these are not Moors. Despite the complexion of their skin, despite their ancient forefathers and foremothers, the Prophet Noble Ali said to do certain things disqualifies you from even being a Moor. And we, the real members of the Moorish Scientific of America, take this serious. All right, so now let's take a look at this document. It says, our authority. Copybook 521, page 578, State of Illinois, Cook County, section number 1010-5905, filed for record. Corporation Religious Affidavit of Organization. Corporation Religious Affidavit of Organization, form number State of Illinois, County of Cook, section 1928, August 1st, PM 252, and recorded in book page. Listen. I, Noble Drew Ali, recorded Salon Jaskinowski. Again, it said, I, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Science Temple of America, held at Chicago in the County of Cook and State of Illinois on the 20th day of July, AD 1928. For that purpose, the following persons were appointed Sheiks according to the rules and usages of such Moorish Science Temple of America. Now I'm gonna stop right there for now. This is important because this is Noble Drew Ali. He said, I, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Science Temple of America, held at Chicago in the County of Cook and State of Illinois on the 20th day of July, AD 1928. For that purpose, the following persons were appointed Sheiks. They were not elected Sheiks. They were appointed Sheiks. How? According to the rules and usages of such Moorish Science Temple of America. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali just told you himself how individuals become sheiks. They are appointed. according to the rules and usages of such Moorish Science Temple of America, not the rules and usages of nobody else. There's no statute, there's no regulation, there's no presumed law that overwrites the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America in the Moorish Science Temple of America, period. Anyone doing anything else is out of law. They out of law. It says right here, Noble Drew Ali, not Maurice Pennington, babe. Not no other leader, not nobody else. He said he, Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the establisher of the rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America, just told you that sheiks are appointed. Now I'm gonna go further. He say, do solemnly swear that at a meeting of the members of the Noble Drew Ali, Mealy Eel, Small Bay, Lubbock Bay, and Foreman Bay, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, deriving its power and authority from the great Koran of Muhammad. Now I'm gonna stop there. It did not say that they derive power and authority from any constitution of any state of the world. It did not say that they derive their power and authority from any chamber of legislators outside of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It said that the power and authority is derived from the great Quran of Muhammad. Now, how do we overlook this? How do we presume? How do we presume that there's any other power and authority greater than the power and authority that this body was formed from? Your thoughts are wrong. Authority to do what? To propagate the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great prophet of Ali in America. Now that covers propagate the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great prophet of Ali in America covers all the possibilities of man. All the possibilities of man. To appoint and consecrate missionaries of the prophet. Appoint and consecrate. And the oldest Quran questionnaires, they also anoint. None of them said elect. None of them says elect. It says here, appoint and consecrate missionaries of the prophet. And to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. Our authority was. So for all of us, master student, I mean, it is what it is, Mo. I mean, I can't help it. I love to learn. I love to learn. I love to study. But I also know what to study. Okay. So before we go, we start. This is one of my old textbooks. It's one of my old textbooks from school. Business law in the legal environment.
right? It's a great book. It's a great book. This book will tell you everything that you want to know about the legal environment of the United States of America outside of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If you want to know all about the legal environment within the Moorish Science Temple of America, you have to be a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You have to go to Sunday school and sit under a qualified Sunday school master and learn these things. All right. Furthermore, and said, Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, the word said means before mentioned. Islam, it means before mentioned. All right, here in the document, before mentioned. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he let you know, I, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Science Temple of America. I hope y'all paying attention. He said, and said, Moorish Science Temple of America adopted as its corporate name the following: Moorish Science Temple of America. So the Moorish Science Temple of America existed prior to any corporation. So for everybody, for all of you, you know, masters of European Roman law, for all of you masters of the Roman law who think that there's a corporate document that outlines who and what is the Moorish Science Temple of America and its members, your thoughts are wrong. Your thoughts are all wrong. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, as wise as he was, he teaches all the Moorish children that the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded in 1913 AD. Not November of 1926. Not May of 1928. Not in 1934 or whenever your group, whatever group of Moors you with, incorporated its corporate documents. That ain't when the Moorish Science Temple of America came into existence. See, the issue is we don't know what we have. We don't know. And then we are not humble enough. We are not humble enough to ask. We're not humble enough, or we're not energetic enough. We're not serious enough about this to do what it takes to find out. Because see, you can receive these lessons at an expense. Right? See, anybody can go and buy a Quran. You can go buy you a Quran. But the lessons of the pamphlet are not for sale. So yeah, you can go and buy you a Quran. You can sit at home and you can read it every day for the rest of your life. But the lessons of the pamphlet are not for sale. You can receive them at an expense. You gotta do some work. You gotta do some work. See, a lot of you Moors, you don't want to do no work. So, you know, it was recorded that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali once asked the Moors, do you want, he said, if you want European Grand Sheiks, I get them to you. So all of you masters of the law, all of you Moors, you know, that they talk about you want to go to court and you want to always tell us what the Congress done legislated and what type of statutes they done dreamed up inside of their chambers. Instead of go through what it takes to get into the chambers where these things came from. To be able to take a peek into the mind that
doctored this. See, you don't want to do that. But you want to come to me and tell me what Rome got to say about something that I am a part and a partial of. Like you understand it. You don't. And the only reason why I'm saying something right now is because I care so much about you. It ain't about me. I don't do no debating, all that old bull crap. I ain't with that crap. How do I debate the truth with you? How? Now, if we want to sit down and discuss the possibilities of man, we could talk the prophet's law. We could communicate this stuff all day. Press flesh and part from one another, armed with more, so that we can go out and do our work. But if that ain't what it's about, man, I'm not here to be arguing with you more. If you notice, I was given no authority to do that. It says here, propagate the faith and extend the learning of the great prophet of Ali in America. That's what this says. The Drew ain't give me no authority to be debating with you guys about his law. This said, let me tell y'all something. None of this was in code. Now, there's some things here, but this ain't the place to get into that. Just look at what it says. It says right here, I, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Temple of America, ex-Chicago, in the county of Cook, and state of Illinois, on the 20th day of July, AD 1928, for that purpose, the following persons were appointed sheiks, according to the rules and usages of such Moorish Temple of America. He just told you in plain English. He didn't speak a parable. Now the more say, but her revised statute say elected or appointed. Yes, it provides options. And according to the rules and usages of the Moorish Temple of America, the founder chose to appoint. Now, if you really knew what we had, you will understand how this is an infallible process. I mean, I hate to say it. But the Moorish Temple of America didn't get to where it is today until a group of Moors decided to violate the prophet's law and hold a secret election. That's the truth, man. Because if them Moors would have instead had the meetings that they were supposed to have and demonstrate the degrees that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali hand down to them, and they would have solved the problems of their day. And we wouldn't be today still dealing with this nonsense. An election is a popularity contest. That's a popularity contest. It's not the way this works. Not the way this works. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali was here with the Moors. Chapter 47 of the Holy Koran of the Moorish Temple of America
came into fruition. And in it, it says that. It says words, master words. The uniting of the Moorish Temple of America. That's what it says. The Moorish Temple of America was not fractured. It wasn't fractured. This is the prophet prophesied. I love the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I love the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, all those years ago, more I'm talking about, we coming up, we come, this finna be 113 years since the founding of the Moorish Temple of America, when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali putting in all that work and sacrifice so much for you and I, and our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He put these degrees in our hands. He gave us something. He gave us exactly what we need. He gave us exactly what we need to rebuild what we had lost as a people. Now all we have to do is to follow his instructions. We have gotten so far away from our divine self. Whereas I heard something today, man, on YouTube. I heard a brother say, a Moorish American said that the original people, the original Asiatic people, were from Sumeria, which was southern in Mesopotamia. And when I heard that, I said to myself, we as a people need to trust more in our prophet. We need to trust more in Allah's prophets. We need to trust more in Allah's record book. All right. The Bible, Genesis number 11, it tells us that sons of man and sons of God traveled into Shinar. Shinar is the ancient name for modern day Mesopotamia. It says that they traveled to Shinar, and there they decided to make a name for themselves and make a city for themselves. So without even just getting into the rest of the lessons, all of the degrees that's in that particular chapter, the very first part of it tells us that the sons of God and the sons of man traveled to Mesopotamia. So they wasn't from Mesopotamia. They traveled there. But the Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave us back our ancient name, Moabite. Moabite is seed of the Father. So you say, well, what is the origin? What is the origin of the Moabite? The origin of the Moabite is Allah. Now, I do not understand the difficulties that ones face when accepting the fact that the Holy Koran of the Moorish Temple of America has said that our origin is divine, the divine origin of the Asiatic nations. This urges us to look beyond any physical place here on this earth, saying we come from there. It urges us away from the animalistic, territorial trait that is not characteristic of our ancient forefathers. It's actually an adaptation that led to the downfall in part of our ancient forefathers, becoming territorial, claiming parts of the planet, whereas the prophet Jesus demonstrates the brotherhood of life. If we are all one family, bearing one free national name, then it is all ours. It's all ours. There is no like, I wish my kids would. I wish my children, I wish that my children would in my house, or my grandchildren. I wish I would look up and see my granddaughter, because she's older, telling my grandson that he can't come in the living room because that's hers. She got there first. I wish she would. I wish she would. But this is what we do. This is what we do. Allah is the Father of the universe. And this is what we do. This is our approach. This is our approach to how we, we're gonna divvy up the planet. That's asinine. And it all stems from misunderstanding. It's all misunderstanding. What our authority is. All right. So all of the people who are, going to Rome, getting Roman textbooks rather than picking up the Moorish American textbooks, and then coming back to the Moorish Science Temple of America thinking that you are going to, sheik here or teach here, I'm going to just tell you the truth. To us, we think that you are funny because it makes zero sense. That's just like as if I was a member of another order, one of these other secret orders, and I went there and bowed down to, the leaders of that order, and was, I'm going to be subservient to the leaders in that order, but then I'm going to come and then grand sheik here in the temple. That would be insanely funny, to be kind. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You're going to go, you telling me that you taking orders from some Romans over there, but you're going to come over here and you're going to lead us. But then you're gonna try to tell me, oh no, we don't take that serious. We don't take our oath serious. You don't take your oath serious over there, but you're gonna come over here and take the law serious. That sounds ridiculous. And to those who obey the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and study the Holy Koran and the divine constitution and bylaws handed down to him, you're not going to pull that over on us. We're not going for that. We do not believe you, because we know you can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters, especially when you got one who was willing to kill you. It's not, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. But these people in these other orders, they'll take your phone from you. They'll take your phone from you. So that's what I wanted to talk to the Moors about tonight. Happy holy day. Praise be to Allah, honor to his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, honor to all of the Sheiks, all over Moorish America. All of you who love Jesus and desire to know what the truth is about his life, works, and teachings, come to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Come to the Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. You can only it's too much to have to sift through if you just come into these social media, YouTubes and Facebooks, and we post our holy day meetings, we post our Sunday school meetings, and I do it so that you can come, so that if you can't just come into the temple and sit down and press the hands of Moors, then you can still sit down and be a part of this divine movement in that way, because I know how the spirit, you know, permeates and transcends all the time and space and any boundary and all physical things. I understand that. If you can get into a Moorish Science Temple of America, go. Find the Sunday school master. Ask questions. Sit down. Talk to the Grand Sheik. Ask them questions. Ask them to explain these things to you. All right? You have questions pertaining to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Listen, y'all. That's my real phone number. I put my phone number. I put my email. You could send me. You could inbox me on Messenger anytime. I'm gonna answer. If you just, you know, spamming or whatever, then I'm gonna block you. But if you really searching for, you know, answers when it comes to the Moorish Science, and it ain't even just got to be answers. I'm Sheik. If you just need somebody to pray with you, to teach you how to pray, to explain prayer to you. If you have questions about scripture, it don't matter if it's the Quran, the Bible, the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Avesta, the Zendafest, it does not matter. The wisdom of Guatemala. Call me. Call me. That's why the information is there. I'm not going to ask you for nothing. I'm not going to ask you to do nothing. I'm not gonna put your business out in the world. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm gonna do what I've been given authority to do. That's what I'm gonna do. So, all praise due to Allah, honor to His holy prophet, noble Juali. Happy holy day, Moors, peace and love.
All right. Now that goes against everything that you've been taught your whole life. Everything you've been taught your whole life. You've been taught that you think with your mind. But in the Quran, it talks about what the mind does. Think about some of the things the Quran says about the mind. Jesus said, let us forget the body. He said, let us forget the flesh and go with mind. And go with mind. So therefore, he is identifying that the mind is a vehicle that we could use to transcend boundaries, that we could use to transcend time and space. So when the Prophet Muhammad, he talked about going from Mecca to Jerusalem and back to Mecca in one night, the night's journey. How did he travel? He said he traveled on an animal called Barak, and this animal in one stride, he moves as far as his eyes could see at the speed of thought. At the speed of thought. He was traveling with the mind. You understand what I'm saying? What else did he say about the mind? He said, these tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind. So he's telling us that there is a workshop in the mind. And he's saying where we build up thought. He said where things are made of thought and where we build up character. Now he's telling us what we're supposed to be doing in the workshop, but that's not what you have to do because your mind is yours. You can change it when you want to.